What is up, everyone? Corn O'Keefe back with another prediction video, and I got a bunch of badasses with me yet again. I have Instinct here. We have Infinite the Jackal King. We have the Boy Niotic. We have Debater's Apprentice. We even have Immortal Hulk, and maybe even a couple others joining later on. And as the title implies, we're bringing you a prediction on the next death battle, aka Red Hood, the badass Jason Todd, former Robin, versus Bucky Barnes, aka a Captain America at one point, aka the Winter Freaking Soldier. So without further ado, I'm going to cover some AP, some speed, and all that good stuff, some gear, some intelligence for Bucky Barnes. I'll be covering speed for Red Hood. Niotic's going to come in later on and go over the incredible intellect of Jason, his gear, and versatile arsenal all together. And Debater here is going to be going over the attack power of Jason himself. But before that, a word from our sponsor.
Are y'all really getting tired of watching weak-ass dudes say some dumb shit? If you want to go to the smart way, watch your boy Instinct. He has a lot of intelligence and doesn't make stupid claims. He shows evidence every time. He might not be the best debater, but when it comes to honesty, he's one of the top 100 honest people. If you want to watch honest people, please click that link in the description below. Thank you.
And now, back to our regular scheduled broadcast. So yeah, go ahead and starting off with Bucky himself, Winter Soldier's AP. So there's a few ranges that he can definitely scale to. There's actually a pretty solid calc I'll leave down below for Daredevil. Somebody Bucky has kept up with in combat before and should actually be slightly superior to in terms of physicality, actually, when you really break it down. Now, the thing about this calc is it actually has Daredevil and his striking strength around city block level down below, as I mentioned. So right off the bat, there's just an easy, simple city block level calc that Bucky scales to. We'll leave scans on the screen for that as well. Now, moving on to some other stuff, we know for a fact Deadpool has multiple multi-city block calculations. I've brought these up in past videos where he's literally tanked an asteroid, tanked this large crater in an explosion that made a large crater in the ground at one point in the comics, and got up with a tiny little scratch on it. And both of these were around the multi-city block level ranges when properly calculated. So a couple consistencies right there. Something else that Bucky does scale to in terms of durability and attack power, as he can fight characters on his caliber with similar levels of durability and fight and damage Deadpool himself. Now, there's other stuff as well. There's higher calcs from Spider-Man, someone who is obviously stronger than most of the other street tiers. However, he's not infinitely stronger than them, and they do actually still keep up with him somewhat in battle. And some of them, like Daredevil, has actually been able to stagger him and damage him, and so have other characters like Cap, etc., etc. Captain America, someone else who's Bucky is roughly comparable to as well. Now with Spider-Man has several calcs. One of them is moving the Incredible Hulk at Mach speeds, Mach 200 and Mach 300 speeds. I'll leave a calc down below. It's around small town level, essentially. And there's another one that puts him around the town level ranges, and another one after that around the large town level ranges. And I'll leave all three of those calcs down below. There's also a time Wolverine, another person Bucky has actually stalemated before and kept up with. He actually has a calculation around the city block level ranges as well, when Gorgon knocked him all the way to a completely different country at massively hypersonic speeds, which was also around the city block ranges, if not higher, depending on how you calculate, but that'll be down below as well. So yeah, with that out of the way, you'll be seeing obviously the fight scenes on the screen, him scaling to them, keeping up with them in battle, damaging them. Logically, at the end of the day, in terms of scaling consistency, he should be on any of these ranges. I would say this is definitely accurate to use. It's very consistent, and he's even physically superior to some of these characters like Daredevil, who are performing some of these feats. So right off the bat, there you go. You have multiple ranges to shoot. You can easily get him to city block, multi-city block, town levels, etc., etc. Now, I'll let Debater come in, talk about the ranges Red Hood should be scaling consistently.
Okay. Now, for the AP of Red Hood, right, and I'll be like showing scans in general. So for the ranges, right, he's consistently able to keep up with like people like Nightwing and Batman, as we see in this scan. Batman, for a few of his calcs, he survived like some explosions, and these explosions have been calced to large building, like building level to large building. This is some of like, you know, his lower stuff. I'll just show like probably like one more with that. But the thing, okay, so he would scale to them, but a bit more impressively is his ability to hurt Deathstroke. Let me just get that right quick. Like, cause when like he was like fighting Deathstroke, right? He was able to actually damage and injure him like with his attacks, like with a kick to the head. And the reason that this is important because Deathstroke actually has some calcs that put him at for like multi-city block. Let me get that very quick because like it was referring to like his when he like destroyed this like helicopter, and so when he destroyed this helicopter, it was calced like multi-city block, and he's hurt people he's like hurt people that has tanked this like energy attack before, so I would say it would scale. But like definitely like most impressively, it's Deathstroke. He took this like submarine, right? And with this submarine, and when he tanked it, it was actually like calced to be at the town level ranges, and I will show scans for it right now. So basically, for his AP, it ranges from like the lower levels, which is at lowest building plus the large building, and then we slowly move up the range to multi-city block level, and even like a town level calc that I found, and this calc reaches all the way. The submarine one reaches all the way to like town level as it was like calced. So yeah, that's like the general like AP for Red Hood.
All right, so I'll move on to speed for both of them essentially, and then Nyada can chime in and give the real good stuff. So starting off with speed for Winter Soldier, I've made an entire video on this. You know, I'm probably gonna sound like a broken record to some of my viewers who've been watching me for a while, and probably y'all in here too, but Marvel quote-unquote street tiers have consistent, and DC, especially Marvel, but both of them in general, but they both have consistent light speed feats, right? They have consistently shown like relativistic, or they can like dodge beams of light, pure light beams. Some of them can react in like multiple nanoseconds, which I'll be getting into more detail, and I'll even leave a link to my videos down below. But essentially, Cyclops Optic Blast is confirmed multiple times throughout the comics, 3 or 4 times at least, that it moves at the speed of light. So right off the bat, that is so consistent, you can't even really deny that. At bare minimum, 3 to 4 times it's been stated that is a consistent scale for his Optic Blast. Why is this important? Well, we've seen characters like Wolverine, Bullseye dressed up as Hawkeye, you know, even Sabretooth, and even Captain America, like either dodge or casually block Cyclops Optic Blast from either close range or around point blank range, like consistently. So right off the bat there, easily get at the relativistic, and I've even seen calcs like my buddy Hellfire Productions have calced some of them to be around 2 times the speed of light, like Wolverine point blank dodging Cyclops Optic Blast. And I'll leave that down below, obviously. So right off the bat, that's pretty consistent, and multiple characters do this, and all of them keep up with each other. And Bucky clearly scales everybody I just named off. It's very consistent. There's really no reason to even deny it in terms of the scaling for this stuff. So we also have guys like Spider-Man, who again, he is a little bit faster, sure, but not infinitely. And again, a lot of these street tiers still somewhat keep up with him and can tag him, especially Daredevil, who Bucky again has kept up with, as well as other characters like Cap, stuff like that. And Spider-Man has dodged light-based attacks and pure light speed attacks on multiple occasions, like Master Light or Light Master, you know. literally verbatim on panel. You see him dodging these light beams. He himself states their speed of light. There's another time too, he's fighting like duplicates and stuff that like Lightmaster made, and it literally stated to be just as fast and like just as deadly, basically, if not more. So, two right there, right? He's dodged lasers multiple times. He's also dodged some from the living laser himself at point blank range, which has different calculations. Some of them putting it relativistic. I've seen some put it at 3.6 times the speed of light. So you can kind of see the gist and the consistency here. And there's even more than that. But again, I'll leave a link. If you want to see the whole video, I'll leave a link down below. We'll put scans on the screen. Now, in terms of Jason, right? So, well, for clarification, one more time, it is very clear, right? Very consistent. Bucky should be anywhere from the relativistic up to the FTL ranges in terms of reaction time and his short burst combat speed. So Jason, it should be similar, roughly similar, right? Because Jason is actually faster than Tim Drake in combat. He's proven himself to be. It's a fact. Tim Drake has actually avoided Superman's heat vision before. He's actually avoided heat vision on more than one occasion. We know for a fact Jason can keep up with Batman in combat. Batman has dodged Dr. Light's pure light-based attacks from close range. He's been able to avoid them. He's been able to avoid the Green Lantern's light from close range, which is pure light, a blast of that. Now, also Nightwing, right? Obviously, he scales the Nightwing, pretty comparable. Obviously, Nightwing may be more acrobatic, but not infinitely. He still keeps up nonetheless. So, in terms of speed, Nightwing's dodged light speed lasers on more than one occasion himself. So we also have stuff like Static Shock, who they themselves have brought up, have dodged light speed lasers before. That is only more consistent. And yes, he is a little faster than them, but again, not infinitely, and some of them still keep up with him. I don't see any reason to deny that. There's also Black Canary, who Jason is definitely easily, if not faster than, comparable to, if not faster than her. And you've already brought this up too in your other videos. Black Canary, I pointed this out in my other videos too. She can react down to the last like a nanosecond, which again can even be relativistic to FTL. So right off the bat, it's pretty safe to say Jason and Bucky are both around the relativistic ranges, bare minimum, consistently up to FTL. Now, with that out of the way, I think Niotic might want to come in and take care of business on the juicy stuff with Jason.
All right, so when talking about Jason's abilities, I think first we should establish where he stands, his hand-to-hand capabilities, as that's mostly how he fights. Jason's hand-to-hand capabilities are easily comparable to Batman, Nightwing's, Cassandra Cain. All these people are scaling to Batman, who knows every single martial arts on the planet and continuously develops multiple martial arts mid-battle to use. Jason, during their first encounter, pretty much takes the win against Batman and has consistently shown to be able to swap blows with him. It should be also noted that Jason does indeed hold back on Batman, as he's his father and a very important person in his life, so that just makes his feats even more impressive. Getting into Jason's other hand-to-hand feats and the things that he does in combat, he's able to read people incredibly easily, such as when he was fighting this squad of vigilantes that was coming up against him, and at first he was getting completely, dogged on by them, but after reading them and discovering their strengths and weaknesses, by assessing them, he managed to easily make a comeback. The same day with Cassandra Cain, she snuck attacked him and was trying to read Jason, but he read her reading him, and so he just read all of her attacks and easily bullied her. Another thing with Jason is that he's incredibly he can adapt incredibly to his environment, as noted as when he was teaching his students. One of his students states that he manages to use the environment to his advantage and make sure to always adapt to the situation, such as when he was fighting the Solomon Grundy clone, when he was grabbing sticks and rakes and all kinds of utensils to fight against him, even when he was outnumbered with Batwoman. So those are pretty much all of his hand-to-hand like capabilities and what he can do with like mid combat. Now, if you want to move on to his gear, Jason has like plenty of guns that have been shown to like get through Deathstroke's armor. The same Deathstroke's armor, take like regular gunshots, take Batman's batarangs, which have shown like plenty of other AP feats. He's also been shown to be able to use his tasers. His tasers being able to like knock out Batman's suit, and Batman fully insulates his suit, being able to like tank attacks from like Shazam's electricity. But Jason is like consistently being able to like get his suit down. Also being able to use it against the Amazoness Artemis. And the last thing that Jason really has is his ability to like use his all blades. His all blades come from his soul, and they are magical weapons capable of like their abilities are capable of like dispelling any magic whatsoever. They're also able to like steal a person's soul and destroy your soul if you like hit your bare soul with them. And with that out of the way, I think that's all that I have for my man Jason, unless the debater wants to chime in and say something else.
No, you covered the good stuff.
All right, cool. Yeah, that was a good job. So I'll go ahead and go over a little bit over, sum up Winter Soldier real quick, because he's definitely a straight monster in that regard as well. And then I'll let everybody else come in if they want to say anything, give their final thoughts. So basically, Bucky, even early as a young man or a young boy, you could even say a young boy in World War II, already showcased he's an expert sniper, very good, already like outclassing fully grown men in a sense in most situations. Trained early on with Captain America, going through the whole Winter Soldier thing, even far more training. So just right off the bat, he's already in an early young age. He already had like pure military combat training, pure expert marksmanship, showing even young in World War II and all that experience. And then he even gets to like the Winter Soldier, more. He gets trained in spy. He actually finds infantry. We actually found out at one point he actually helped train Black Widow at one point as well, which is pretty cool. But hey, he was Captain America at one point. He had a lot of compliments on that too, while he himself tried to admit, I'm not nearly as good as Steve, but it's still pretty awesome. A lot of people still credit him for what he did as Captain America, and he's still, again, roughly comparable in many regards. That being said, him being trained by Cap, this is a man who, now I'm not claiming Bucky himself necessarily knows the exact same amount, but the fact that he can even swap hands and counter some of Cap's blows and actually got trained throughout a lot of his life by Captain America and characters on his caliber, and also training other characters himself who have shown to be master martial artists. Captain America has been confirmed consistently that he's not just a boxer, okay? He is not just a boxer, all right? Captain America is a master at all forms of martial art known to man. And he has a counter and can adapt to every fighting style known to man. And this is confirmed and it's consistent, okay, that he's not just a boxer. So, and Bucky, right, he's able to consistently keep up with this dude. Bucky's even been able to go up against Burnside Captain America, who is arguably maybe not as skilled, but he is still superior to Cap in terms of physicality and at the very least, roughly comparable in terms of skill. And again, Bucky's able to go toe-to-toe with him at certain points, swap hands with Cap. He's able to go toe-to-toe with Daredevil, who's a master of multiple martial arts. You also have characters like Iron Fist, who has an infinite amount of ways to kill a man. Multiple characters on this caliber have swapped hands with Iron Fist. I'll put scans on that down below or on the screen. Iron Fist himself is also a master at every fighting style on the man. We know Black Panther has studied every fighting style known to man. So yeah, right off the bat, I'd say Bucky's looking pretty good in terms of martial arts and combat skill, you know, marksmanship, all that good stuff. Now, in terms of gear, weaponry, stuff like that, has a lot of that. Now, I don't know what they're exactly going to give him, but if they give him everything he's shown that he's, you know, throughout the comics, like Nick Fury stuff, give him the shield. I don't know if they're going to give him the shield, but they might give him some of Nick Fury stuff and like even some of his other stuff on his own. He's had guns, you know, for example, he has a gun that Nick Fury gave him, I believe, and I think a gun of his own that can actually damage Thor level characters, legit. Like he actually has a gun at one point that could one-shot an actual Frost Giant. Now Frost Giant necessarily isn't the exact same level as Thor, but they can somewhat damage him. They can push him around and stuff, so they still are on that ballpark, which is very impressive for the most part. Nick Fury also has a gun himself, which Bucky can get access to if they give him this. It is an option that has one shot been able to like take down Thor, hurt Hulk himself, you know, basically hurt Hulk pretty freaking bad, take him down for a little bit. And these characters easily range, you know, from the Uni Plus to the low multiversal ranges. You got characters like Thor generating enough energy to rival the Big Bang in a battle with another Thor, and obviously their durability must be able to tank that. Like they're literally right there with each other, generating that power, right? So, and plus the energy you can usually exert and what you can endure too. And obviously Hulk has destroyed entire universes with his battle with the Nameless when he's held the power of 2 universes, and the list goes on. And yet these weapons, some of these weapons that he's had throughout the comics can actually like damage and even one-shot some of these characters, which is pretty insane. So with that out of the way, I would say that about gives you the gist of the badass Bucky Barnes, at least for this prediction. Obviously, I want to give other people a chance to give their thoughts. So Immortal Hulk, you want to say anything?
I would say from the things that I've heard, I think they both have a chance of winning, but I would say Jason Todd as of now with the stats, most likely. Well, it can go either way because they're both pretty much relative in stats from what I've heard. What I've heard a while ago. Good analysis.
Thanks. So your final thoughts is pretty much Jason, maybe overall? All right. Anyone who wants to go next and give their final thoughts on who they think is going to take more often than not?
If we're talking about who's going to win in the death battle, I think they're going to give the win to Jason. And I think it's just mainly due to popularity. Like, I'm not sure how popular Winter Soldier is, but I do think Jason is like the more popular out of the two. So I do think like in the death battle itself, like he's probably going to take it because of it.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that notion. I think they're more likely to give it to Jason because I think based on like their track record with those two characters, they'll probably like scale both of them fully to Captain America in Bucky's case and scale Jason fully to Batman. And judging by their track record, which what they said about Batman before, you know what they said. So based on that, on their track record, I think it's likely that they're gonna say Jason takes this. I think it's likely. That's how I feel about it.
Right on. Who wants to go next? Infinite, you got any thoughts?
I'll give you. Not exactly who I think will win, but I would say this. With bonus death battle. 7 versus the boys. When was that a thing in death battle? No.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that. No, I'm just kidding. So your final thoughts? You don't really have any final thoughts on it?
No, I don't. It's a more with this DC. Right. I kind of expect DC to win because they're winning streak, but I'll be surprised if Marvel broke that DC win streak.
All right, Slick, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, sure. I don't really scale Marvel and DC street tiers. I mostly like scale like the cosmic tiers. But based on like the analysis I think Jason might just edge it.
All right, Instinct. Anything else? And I'll go last.
I'm not too familiar with street tiers myself, but even though I do want the Winter Soldier to win, I feel like Red Hood's just gonna take this.
All right. So for me, from what I heard on like the AP stuff for Red Hood anyways, and what I've actually researched myself, I do a lot of the research. I help out with that. It's just like the boy Niotic and the Debater are definitely more along the lines of Red Hood, but I've seen all the calc, I took a look at the consistent feeds. I've been researching both DC and Marvel street tiers for a while, several years, 10 years, but like from what I'm hearing, and what I've seen myself, I'd say Winter Soldier he would actually slightly edge out from what I've seen in terms of AP. And while they are comparable, yeah, they're maybe in the same ballparks, depending on how you go about it. I would say the calcs I've seen and the AP feats I've seen and speed feats, calcs that I've seen for Winter Soldier would actually edge him out in terms of physicality. So I do feel like, going off what I've seen anyways, the consistency, what I've always argued and stuff and really been argued with, I would see Winter Soldier himself edging out in terms of AP speed. While it's not by a huge amount, I would say it's definitely just enough to give him the upper hand. And that being said, I would say in terms of like skill, that's definitely a huge one right there. But if Red Hood does end up being like, a little more skilled, right? But the other one's a little more physical, I don't know if the skill would actually help make up for the slight physical advantage like speed and stuff. But Red Hood does have, like Niotic named off, some dang versatile weaponry and really deadly weaponry and versatile arsenal altogether. So if he can get some of that off, he could definitely potentially take out Winter Soldier. But as I brought up as well, if Winter Soldier can hit him, right, depending on what they give him, if he give him some of that potent weaponry, like something that's one shot in the Frost Giant, that's obviously going to be a big GG if it hits like his physical durability. But overall, though, I would say in terms of pure, maybe raw martial arts skill, Jason might edge out. But I would say in terms of pure, and some people might disagree, but I would say pure raw like combat strategy and just tactician, I would say just from the experience wise in that regard and doing it as long as he has, I'd say Bucky slightly edged out in that regard. Maybe not hand-to-hand skill, but just overall like combat experience and like tactician type stuff. So I would say both of them do have a lot of different like smaller advantages over each other, stuff like that. This is such a close fight and one I really am interested in seeing. I'm hyped, but for me, I got to edge out with Bucky more often than not. I feel like, again, from me, I've seen him edging out more often than not with AP and speed, and that will actually give him the upper hand everywhere else because he will have that, he'll be able to stay slightly a step ahead. He's slightly faster, stronger. So I'd say his other small advantages would obviously complement that at the end of the day. So while it is close for me, I definitely this time around I got to edge out with Winter Soldier more often than not. But if no one else has anything to say, I guess that's it. And hope y'all have a good one. Go subscribe to all these badasses. Shout out to all of them. Peace.